Jake here for American Trucks, and today I'm taking a look at the Rough Country Retractable Bed Cover for 2019 and newer Ram 1500s with the 5'7" bed. A retractable bed cover is one of the most convenient ways to protect your bed and make it more functional. And this example from Rough Country brings to the table a sleek style, solid aluminum construction, and the most affordable price tag in the segment for a retractable cover, so this one is appealing in a multitude of ways. Adding a bed cover is one of the easiest ways to make the bed of your pickup much more functional, and going with a retractable cover like this one makes things even easier. Since you don't have to deal with folding or rolling it up yourself like you do a traditional tonneau cover, it's much more efficient to load things into the bed, and it keeps a majority of your bed space functional without impeding rearward visibility. The canister here, as you can see, is a low profile unit and it barely sticks up above the line of the bed. At a glance, you might not even notice it because you're really only getting about this much over here above the top of the bed. Now the entirety of the bed cover retracts into this big old canister, and the majority of that sits below the line of the bed. So again, there's no impact on rearward visibility. Opening or closing the cover, really, it couldn't be much easier. There's a little handle right here in the center, so you can just drop your tailgate, grab this, and let it open right up. And when you want to close things up, you just grab the attached strap, and you can pull it out until it latches. Now, getting it fully open and closed is also easy on you thanks to the included tension spring inside of the canister. So you can see I'm behind the table right now. This is not attached to anything, and I'm not putting a lot of effort into it. So again, you're not going to need to exert a ton of effort or strength to be able to do this. Operation is smooth and it's easy, and you can get this thing open and closed in a matter of seconds. The cover itself here is constructed from rigid aluminum slats, and it features this weather-resistant vinyl on the top. So this is one of those times that form and function actually go hand in hand. The black finish here keeps things looking nice and clean on the outside, matching your rails and the top of the cover itself. And that aluminum and vinyl means that this is going to last a long time, in addition to providing a lot of protection for the contents of your bed. You also get the good looks of one of the soft covers with the protection of a hard cover. Now the whole thing is weather resistant as well. As you can see, we've got some nice weather stripping here along the edge, meaning that you solve what is perhaps the biggest issue with pickups, and that is the lack of weatherproof storage space outside of the cab. And since this is a pretty compact unit overall, you retain nearly full use of the bed itself. So if you find yourself in need of more space to haul a larger load, it's super easy to just drop the tailgate, release that handle, and be ready to load up in a few seconds. Saves you the hassle of fumbling with one of those roll-up or folding tonneau covers, and again, there's no negative impact on visibility. You'll be able to see out of the back as long as you're not blocking it with a bunch of stuff. And as long as your tailgate locks too, you've also got what is essentially a fully lockable, weather-resistant storage space. This canister can also be removed separately in a few moments too, so if you need the full length of your bed for something, that can be done easily, and you don't even have to remove the rails to do it. Speaking of these rails, these are also made from the same aluminum as the canister and the slats on the cover itself, so they're going to be really strong and durable. They're also powder coated black to match with the canister, and they're going to blend in easily with your truck and the cover. You've also, again, got some weather stripping here on the edges, plus some nice double-sided tape to keep everything in line, in addition to all the clamps that they provide for you in the kit. About the only detractor here is the price. Now, in comparison to traditional tonneau covers, these retractable covers are going to cost quite a bit more. However, this one we have right here is about as inexpensive as they come for this segment, coming in around $1,200. And while yes, that is still a nice chunk of change, that's about as inexpensive as you can get for a retractable bed cover like this. Again, it doesn't skimp on quality either. Plus, it's going to far undercut the cost of a bed cap, and again, no impact on rearward visibility. So if you want the additional function and protection, I really don't think you can go wrong here. Installation will come in at a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and should only take you about 30 minutes to get it installed. It's a very straightforward installation process. There's no modifications needed to your truck. All you need are a few common hand tools, so if you ever want to remove it, it's not going to damage your bed. You also get all the clamps and things that you need in the box when you buy it too, so you don't need to go out and get anything additional. Not much more I can tell you about it here on the table, so with that, let's go ahead and hop on over to the install bay where we'll show you the process.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet, an 11mm socket, a Phillips head screwdriver, and a pair of scissors. What's up guys? Today we're going to be installing a retractable bed cover on our Ram 1500. So let's get right to it. So our first step is going to be to lift our canister into place next to our bulkhead. So now if we take our rail, the side with the closed off end is going to go back towards our tailgate, whereas the side with the open end is going to go back towards our canister. Now included in the kit is lubricant. That's going to go inside the rail here where the cover is going to slide. Just keep it nice and lubricated, make sure it doesn't get stuck. And then once we have the lube on, we can line it up, slide it into place. And then we can take our 11mm bolt with a lock washer and a flat washer and bolt that into our canister. So next we have to install our brackets. So this side is going to slide onto our rail. There's a little notch where you can slide it over. And then this piece is going to go on the back side, kind of sandwich it together. So they'll slide in together like this. And then you'll get a knob screw with a lock washer and a flat washer. That'll go through this front side. And then we have a threaded insert for the back. And as we tighten it up, it'll pinch these together to keep our rail nice and tight. So we have this little cutout right here that we're going to slide our clamp over and then slide it to the right into place to put it up against this stop. Then we can slide our second piece into place. And we'll take our threaded insert on the back, our twist knob to the front. So now coming back to the back side, we can do that same exact thing as the front with our clamps. So now this piece, as you spin this piece is going to come out or in. So this is going to go through our hole in the bottom, and then we can adjust our knob here. That's going to push the inside of this up or pull it down, just so that we can have an extra point of adjustment. So then once we have that slid on, we can take a washer, a lock washer, and a wing nut to secure this down. And then we can adjust this knob to where we like it. And now with this piece installed, we can repeat that same process on the other side. So our next step is we have these drain tubes. They have holes in the bottom of our canister that we can screw in, and then we'll run the ends into our grommets on the side so that the water can just go to the ground. So we have these little tabs that are going to line up with corresponding tabs on our canister. Press that in, twist it into place. And then we can pop out our grommet and run our other end through. And then we can do that same thing on the other side. So now we have our weather stripping. It's going to be double-sided tape. Peel back on this liner. And this is going to go at the back of the canister along this rail. Now you're going to have some excess on the other side, so we can just go ahead, take a pair of scissors, and cut that down to size. So now we can lift our canister cover into place. This rubber seal on the back is going to go closest to the cab. Now we can insert our 2 Phillips head screws and tighten them down with the Phillips head screwdriver. And then we can repeat that same process on the other side. So now our last step is going to be an optional one. On our strap, we have Velcro on each side. So we could tie it down to our hook here. Or the kit comes with an included Velcro strip. It's got a sticky side on the back. You can mount that wherever you'd like and stick your cable to that instead.
That's going to do it for our review and install of the Rough Country retractable bed cover for 2019 and newer Ram 1500s with the 5-foot 7-inch bed. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, for all things Ram, be sure to keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.